Alright guys and girls, this video I'm just gonna consider it an addendum to my Requiem review, which apparently upset some people because I called the game slop. I'm assuming they just didn't watch the video. They just reacted out of reading the title. Or if they did, they really didn't understand what I was trying to say. I don't know. I actually like the game. I even say in the video because people comment without even listening to the video. And I mean, I'm not asking you to watch all the video or anything, but if you're gonna comment, you should at least have an idea of what I'm saying. If you comment without even listening for most of the video and just read the title, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be an interesting and accurate discussion because you're just gonna get clickbaited. The title was a little bit clickbaity, but not that much, honestly. I think the game is slop, but there's good kind of slop and bad kind of slop. So I'll elaborate more on this concept in my story video, which I'm working on. It's gonna be sort of long. I'm gonna talk about all the things I think don't work and are sort of confusing in the story of Requiem. But in this one, yeah, I'm gonna still talk about the game. And I think the biggest problem the game has, like I said, I did like it. Overall, I enjoyed it. Bought it day one, I enjoyed it. But what finishing the game on normal, and now that I have also finished it on Insanity, made me realize is that the Resident Evil fanbase, or at least the people who play Resident Evil, don't value quality that much. Because I'm starting to think that if Capcom released the Resident Evil 6 nowadays, with the Resident Evil remake style of gameplay, so Resident Evil 4 remake style of gameplay, let's say, and they release Resident Evil 6 just with all those campaigns, with the same mess that it is, but just with the remake gameplay, a lot of people will just give nines and tens, actually probably tens, considering Resident Evil 6 has a lot of content. There's a lot of stuff to do in Resident Evil 6. Yeah, people will probably give it nines and tens because they're giving nines and more to Requiem, which is a heavily flawed game. Like Requiem's biggest flaw is the fact that it has barely any content. The game is missing something even other than just the main story. Like we are 1 month, actually more than 1 month later after the release, and there's still no mini game. There's still no mercenaries. There's still no extra mini game. Like for example, I don't know, in Resident Evil 2 remake, I think 1 month after the release, they released the Ghost Survivors. In Resident Evil 4 remake, after 1 month, they released Mercenaries, which should have been from the start, but whatever. At least it's free. Even in I don't remember in Resident Evil 8 if Mercenaries was in immediately or after 1 month. But yeah, even Resident Evil 8 had Mercenary. So like the game is missing content. It's lacking content. There's the game, it feels like it's missing a difficulty setting because there's normal and then it goes straight to insanity, but there's nothing in between. Insanity is more akin to professional on 4 remake or Village of Shadows in 8, so that extreme type of difficulty level where you die immediately and enemies are extreme bullet sponges unless you power up your guns to the max. But even powering up your guns to the max, the leakers, for example, at the end on Insanity are just bullet sponges. You shoot them with the shotgun, with with TAC shotgun powered up to the max, and they still don't flinch. So I don't know. And that's another thing. So, and in terms of tuning as well, there is some weird choices in this game. Like the tuning, the level 3 tuning is confined behind finding all the collectibles, the Mr. Raccoons, which is an odd choice because I mean, it's probably doing this because they force you to play the game one more time. Because on the first playthrough, you're probably never gonna find all the Mr. Raccoons in one single playthrough, so you'll play the game at least once more. And in the third playthrough, you'll try to unlock the level 3 power ups with Leon, with all the weapons. But the thing is that you don't even have enough money to unlock all those upgrades because they cost a lot of money. So yeah, and the game doesn't even have New Game Plus, so you can't even say, okay, I'm gonna upgrade those power ups with with a new game. I'm just gonna do New Game Plus. Nope, because there's no New Game Plus. So you can't upgrade the guns to the max, no matter what. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you sell all your heals, you have enough money, but I don't think there's even enough money to upgrade all your guns in a single insanity playthrough. I don't know. I have to check. I'll replay the game once again. So these are, like, in terms of content, the biggest issues. There's not enough content. The game is even is quite short actually, and in my opinion, is carried entirely by the care center and partially from Raccoon City, because the care center and Raccoon City are the only parts that actually uh, give you some kind of lasting Resident Evil sandbox gameplay. Everything other than that, it's filler. Brentwood is filler. The hotel at the start is just your usual uh, slow Resident Evil intro that's that barely has any gameplay. So and the lab, the arc at the end also, it's very small. You play it for like at most 1 hour, so it doesn't have much content in that sense. And even with Leon and Grace, you visit slightly different rooms, so it's not even the same environment you're navigating, because the care center has something special that no other area has in the game, and is the fact that you visit the same location both with Leon and Grace. So it creates this sort of reminiscence with Resident Evil 2's zapping system, the original game, of course, because you get to experience one side with Grace, and then some of the decisions you make with Grace are gonna affect Leon's portion of the game. Mostly in terms of enemies, because the enemies you decide to spare with Grace are gonna be alive in Leon's playthrough, and you can just kill them with Leon. In fact, there's something very interesting you can do. When you're trying to unlock the second prism, the second jewel, I don't know, I don't remember how it's called, the second item that you put in the door so you can get out of the care center. There's three items that you need. The second one is in a room that you need like a bottle of acid to unlock. There's the lock that you need to destroy with the acid, and the acid is guarded by a singing zombie and a bunch of zombie doctors and nurses. So it's not really ideal to go there with Grace, but one interesting thing you can do is with Leon. You can just leave it with Leon. You can leave that item because you don't need it immediately, because you're gonna go back to the care center anyway before you actually leave it. So you can just not go there at all with Grace and let that room to Leon. So Leon can clear it up without too much issue, and then you can go there back with Grace. And I think that was really interesting because, it's, like I said, it's sort of like the zapping system, because what you do with one character influences the other. And no other area in the game does this. This is the only area which, yeah, it makes me think as the care center, as some sort of police station clone in that sense. Which I think, like I said, the care center is the best scenario in the best environment in the game. But after that, the game goes down in quality. Uh, it's sad because if the game had been all the way like the care center, this would have been a masterpiece. But it's simply not. Raccoon City is also quite good in my opinion, but I don't know. It's just not as well crafted as the care center. It also overstays a little bit its welcome because yeah, it lasts a little bit too much. But the thing is that it's the second longest area in the game probably. So if you remove that, there's nothing much left in this game. I have seen a lot of people saying, "I wish this Raccoon City section was shorter." Yeah, but if the Raccoon City section was shorter, the game really wouldn't even last that much because it's already quite short. But without the Raccoon City section, it might as well be a demo. You might as well just play the police station in Resident Evil 2 and then stop playing, and that's Requiem. If you don't want to play the Raccoon City section. Now, I think the Raccoon City section should have been slightly shorter, and they should have put in something else. But yeah, it's fine as it is. It's just that there's a lot of gray, a lot of generic-looking zombies in Raccoon City, so it loses a little bit compared to the care center. But yeah, it's good. Overall, it's good. Raccoon City is a fun area. But the game's biggest problem is that it doesn't have much content. It feels like a lot of people just gave it 9 because it's a Capcom game. So the Capcom games are gonna always get bumped up evaluations from people and from journals. Like those grades were based basically just on hype alone, because other than that, even the nostalgia factor, there's not much carrying it. It's nostalgia, like for people like me who have played the series from the beginning. There's not even the nostalgia factor because it's a nostalgia towards the remake, because there's nothing really from the original that makes you go, okay, yeah, this is the same Raccoon City that we had in the original. No, it's remake Raccoon City, which is yeah, it's still Raccoon City, but the candle stuff is from the remake. There's the orphanage, which is from the remake. Like there's really, like, the lab, for example, you don't even visit the marsh the marsh yard, for example. I don't know, another area that was famous in the original game. You don't get to see it here, for example. Like there's very little in terms of nostalgia for people like me. The RPD section is also not that good in my opinion. It might as well not even have been in the game. So the game desperately needs some content. People need to start evaluating games better, because if you're gonna give nines to a game like this, then what are you gonna do? Like you're gonna get a product that it's not even finished, because this game lacks basic features like even New Game Plus. And looking at the development of this game, it kind of makes sense, because it was at first it seems like it was supposed to be a cop shooter, an online cop shooter or something like that. So it makes sense that the content is short because it took them a little bit to figure out what they wanted to do. But again, I think the game's good. It's quite fun. I have enjoyed it, but it just it needed to do more. With 30 years of history, it needed to do more for classic fans as well, like me. Now there's gonna be a DLC probably, but we don't know when it's gonna come out. They haven't said anything about mercenaries or stuff like that, so I don't know. But the game is just it doesn't have enough content. There needs to be something else other than than the main story, which is actually also quite short, like I said, and it fluctuates in terms of quality. The various areas are not as good as the care center or even Raccoon City. So yeah, this was just to solidify my opinion on the game. Like I said in my review, the game is good. I think it's worth playing. It's just that it feels sloppily made and put together with a bunch of ideas that are interesting but not well developed and just not enough content. So I don't know what people are just giving it 9 for. I don't know. I can't tell you why, but this game definitely doesn't deserve a 9. It deserves to be played, but yeah, not at full price. I say wait for a price drop. So next one is probably gonna be the story video. I know I'm gonna talk. I'm talking about Resident Evil a lot because I mean Resident Evil Requiem is probably the biggest release for me this year, so I'm gonna talk about it a lot. But I'm gonna after the story video, I'm gonna probably go back to talking about other games as well. So uh, don't be worried that I'm gonna be stuck on Resident Evil because this is not a Resident Evil channel. So, but yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.